Hello everyone, and welcome back to a video I should have made a long time ago, admittedly. Anyone who knows me knows that I deal with this stuff for been dealing with quite a while, and I love making them. These little bastards, the tasers, big, small, that I have over here that I'll show you later. And I feel like I've shown t like I've shown Tesla coils, I've shown arc lighters, and am yet to show how to make a very simple taser, which I feel is very overdue. So we're going to do that today. So, hands down, for someone who isn't very versed in electronics and doesn't want to deal with a hassle that is switching circuits and transformers, the best way to make a taser is to buy one of these. Now, this package isn't very descriptive; it's a Chinese thing. This is a high voltage booster circuit. It's this little thing. It's very simple. It is a box with two wires. These are the high voltage and these are the low voltage end. This is input and output. And these are like way too cheap. These cost like €2 each, and I have like five of them because they were so cheap to buy. And you can buy them. You can find them everywhere on eBay, Banggood, websites like that. They're not hard to find. They're super easy to run, and they're honestly much better than making your own circuit, because these are tiny compared to how you would make your own circuit, because this is actually like this is quite a lot of components in it. This in here is a ZVS, and I've talked about ZVS in this channel before, but this one may suck up 10 watts. The ZVS I've made and talked about sucks up 50 times more power than that, so that's not a fair comparison. But this in here has a ZVS that is driving a transformer, which is stepping up the voltage to some like, I don't know, 6,000 volts, and then it's going through a voltage multiplier, which I'm not sure how many stages it is, but if you look at the output, you know that that's a pulse DC, which means that there is a voltage multiplier in here. So this for $2 is that's a lot of things in it, honestly. It's quite surprising. So you'll need one of these. This is honestly the hardest thing to get, but if you feel safely with ordering from eBay, just get it from there. They're not very expensive and they can ship for free most of the time. They do take a long time, however. This took 3 months to come in. So that's the first and most important component. Second, you need a button to activate it. This is the tiniest push button you can find. If you're making very small pocketable tasers, you should have very small buttons. There's no reason to go big for these. However, if you are making something bigger, there are cool buttons you can buy. This is one. This is a big red button. It's very cool. And lastly, you'll need a power source. The easiest power source is just a 9-volt battery. 9 volts is a great little range for these. Even though these are 3 to 6 volts, this will load the 9 volt quite a bit, to the point where it's essentially in the safe range for this thing to operate. So I use 9 volts for most of my tasers. You will need a 9-volt connector, which is why I have this here. If you can go buy a 9-volt connector for like $2, or if you don't want to do that, I'm going to show you how to get a connector from an old 9-volt battery. And that's all the basics you're gonna need for a taser. That's all you need technically. But if you want to make it a bit more fancy, like one I have, you can add a safety switch, which I can show you how to do. This is just a 2-position switch. Very nice. And if you want, you can then add an LED to show when the safety switch is on and off. So it's just the green LED and some resistors. This is 330 ohms. So that's that basically. So first, before I get started making this, I want to give a disclaimer. While I am showing you how to make a taser, I'm showing you how to make a taser just because it's cool. I just like it. I have had tasers, but I've never used them on anything or anyone except myself on accident a few times. Tasers are dangerous. You could kill people with them, and don't do that. That's not good. I'm not showing you do this how to hurt someone. I'm showing you just because it's cool and it's good that you can learn electronics this way. So I am not responsible for any injuries you might cause to yourself, loved ones, pets, or God knows what else. Now, with all that being said, if you like the video, please like and subscribe. It helps me and my ego is very important to me. Now, let's get on with it. First of all, I want to show you the first and most basic taser that we're going to be making, and it's this little thing right here. So essentially what this is this converter here, this way, with a battery terminal stuck right here, and with a push button right on here. It's very simplistic. This push button is in series with a battery, and that's just in series with this. And at the end here, I have stuck on 2 nails, just 2 regular nails to act as my breakout point. That's it. So now that we have seen that taser and what we're gonna make, I'm not gonna exactly make it right now because I don't want to waste another one of these. I will show you how to get the terminal from this battery to use as your thing, and then I'm gonna build out the circuit all in the air to test it and show you that it works. Okay, so before I take this 9-volt apart, I would also like to warn and tell you that tasers in some countries and parts of countries are illegal. You shouldn't carry them unless you know the law on if they're legal or not. Over here, I'm not that sure honestly, but I don't carry them. I just make them and keep them in my house and just use them for like only recreational or like electronics needs. I will never use like it's a taser, but it's not being used as the term that we call taser. It's technically just a thing that generates high voltage on demand. So now that we're done with that, let's show you how to get the connector out of this battery. Now, if you see, this battery here is has a thin metal thing around it. So we're going to start by taking that off. Go. Oh, what the hell? I've never seen a battery like this. What is that? Jesus. Most batteries are like a bunch of like 1.5 volts connected together. But what is this thing? Jesus, I've never seen this before. I don't know if I'll be able to get the... Oh no, it's fine. I can get the connector out. What the hell is that thing? Jesus. What the hell? Never seen that. Jesus. Okay, well, let's see if we can get the connector out in one piece. I'm gonna grab a pair of scissors, try and snip this part here. Now this part probably has some metal in it. Damn, this is gonna be a bit harder than I thought. So over here you can see that there is a little wire here that connects the terminal to the battery. Just go ahead and snip that with a wire cutter that you probably have. This really doesn't want to snip off. I swear it comes off at one point. I really hate this right now. This is horrible. There we go. After a lot of work, we managed to cut it. And the second connector appears to be clipped on through whatever this is. So let's cut that. There. And now dispose of this safely, even though it looks honestly quite fascinating. So if we take a look at this thing here, well, this is one side of your connector, and the other one is hidden in this thing. I've never seen this in a battery design. I've taken quite a few of these apart. If I can take this thing off, I could probably expose the other connector as well. And here we go. I would consider this to be averagely clean. So here we have one end that connects to this, and the other that connects to this port. Of how this is shown in the battery, then the positive and negative is flipped when it's a connector. So just follow the. If you have this like a 9-volt battery, it says where the negative and the positive is. So if you connect this here, you know that the positive is this and the negative is this, so they are flipped. So now that I showed you how to do this, we're just going to put the rest of the circuit apart, test it, and see how well it works. Okay, so now let's go ahead and make the circuit. I am going to make the circuit using alligator clips just for demonstrations purposes, but when you are making the circuit in the final design, just solder everything together, add some heat shrink tubing, and it should be fine. But for now, I'm going to just test it. I'm also not going to use a 9-volt battery. I am going to use one of my dedicated power supplies, just because I don't want to waste a 9-volt for no reason. It will make no difference. I am going to set it to a level that the 9-volt would be when the taser is running. So here we have the power supply ends. And then here, instead of this push button, which is kind of hard to get with alligator clips, I am going to use this push button. It makes literally no difference, so don't worry about that. So I'm going to connect the positive end to one side of the switch, and then the other side of the switch gets connected to the positive end of the high voltage generator, which is obviously the red. And the negative end of the voltage generator gets put to the negative end of the power supply. It's that simple. And now, because I don't wanna die, that's a joke, I'm not gonna die, it's just I don't wanna get hit by the taser, I'm going to secure them together using these little clips, just so don't have any sort of problems. So we're just going to put those here together, just so they can make contact. That should be sure, that looks good enough. We're going to turn this power supply on. We are going to set it to 3 volts, 3.3 volts. And we're going to take off any sort of current limit we have, because you can't have this be current limited. That's just stupid. Then we're going to take this switch, turn this power supply on, and then, as you can see, it works just fine. We can even extend this to get a bit of a bigger arc. So there, just whenever I hit this button, the taser fires. And it's that simple, honestly. It's that simple. That's it. That's all you need to make a taser. So just for your normal taser, that's all you need. Just take all of this off, connect it together as the same way I did here, using solder and small wires. Now for cable management purposes, make as small wires as you can, and then try and shove them in this crevice here. There's always going to be a little gap here. Shove them in here. Hot glue your connector. Hot glue your connector over the end, like here, and you can connect your battery like this. And then for these ends, forgot to say, snip these wires off to be not that long, and then get some nails, solder to them, and then stick the nails over here, like stick them sticking out here as the ends of the taser, as you can see here. So here it's 2 nails connected there and then hot glued on. So if you were to put the battery on like that, that's how the battery goes. That's how small this is. And that is literally all that the smallest taser you could make is. Okay, so I had to cut that because I was saying stupid things, and I kind of saying stupid things because the video would be invalid and that would be stupid. So here we go again. So as I showed you this taser here, the smaller one, like the most basic one you could make. But if you're feeling fancy, you could make something like this. This is a stun baton, not a taser. It's technically a taser, but whatever. And the only difference that this here has a safety switch that you can see over here. When the safety switch is off, this does nothing. But when the safety switch is on, you have an LED indicator saying that it's on, and at that point, fires like normal. I do, by the way, want to add, on every taser that I show, don't just click it and like hold it down for seconds on end, like 10 seconds, because then that's not good for this thing. It might not live very long. Do it in short bursts like this. Don't do it like that. That's just stupid. Just do short bursts. Now, however, this taser, the only difference is it has a safety switch, and the way you add that is before you'd have your battery ends. Let's say this is a battery. You'd have your battery ends, take your positive, connect it to one side of the switch, and then the other side of the switch you would connect to the voltage generator, and the negative would go to the negative. And that's basically it. Now if you want to add a safety switch, what you do, you have your battery ends. You have your battery ends like this. I'm messing them up. You take your positive end and add it to an two-position switch. Any switch you'd like. I use these ones because they are cool. Add one to the switch, and the other end of the switch gets connected to your main switch. Now what this does, this means that if this is off, this won't fire, and if this is on, this will fire. But say that you want to be even more fancy and add an LED to it. You would take an LED, this is a green LED. You would take a current limiting resistor. These are some 330 ohms, good for 9 volts. You would take one of these, put it in series with the LED, and that means connected one right next to each other. And connect the negative side of the LED to the negative side of your power source, and then connect the positive side of your power source to one side of the safety switch, like that. Say that this was connected. So whenever the safety switch was on, this would turn on. I can actually show you without using current limiting resistor. 1 second. So the switch right now is off. If I turn the switch on, there, the LED lights up. You can't really see it right now because of the light, and probably because I also have the polarity reversed, because I am just a genius. So let's just reverse the polarity here. I can't get that in. And now that the switch is off, you can see no light. Turn the switch on. Hey, there's a light. So that's basically it. And this is parallel to the switch. And then just add this to the side here, and that's basically it. And if you haven't understood what that is, I will go ahead and draw it on a piece of paper just to make sure that you understand how it works. Let's say you have your battery here, which is then connected to a switch, which is then connected to your transformer, which is then connected back to the other side of the power supply of your battery. So 9 volts. When this switch gets flicked on, this is not correct, by the way. This is not how it looks. The transformer only works with AC and all of that. Yeah, don't care, whatever. This is just to show that whatever this is. This here is the ZVS or whatever. So whenever I flick this switch on, this means that this thing here gets turned on, and that's the first circuit I showed you. Now for the second circuit, you have again your 9-volt battery here. It is connected to a safety switch, which is then in series to the main switch, which is then connected again to the ZVS over here. So this here is the safety switch, and this here is the main switch. Now let's take the other end of here and connect it to the battery like that. So if you just wanted the safety switch, this is good enough. But if you want to add an LED, in between the safety switch and the main switch, you would take a current limiting resistor and an LED and connect it like that. So whenever this switch is on, this circuit here gets completed, and power flows through and turns on the LED. I might have drawn the polarity of this wrong, but doesn't matter. You would know how to do this, hopefully. And if the circuit is on, it means that power goes through here, and when you flick the switch, power goes through the circuit as well, firing the taser. But if the circuit is off, no power flows through it, and also no power can flow through this circuit either. I hope you understood how that works. It's a pretty basic circuit, but hey, whatever, you know. So that's been it. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. Any questions that you might have about these devices or anything else you'd like me to cover. Maybe if you want a deeper video on how this works, I don't know why you would, it's just theoretical crap. And who cares about right when you can just flick a switch and do this. Now, maybe you would like to see me hit myself with it. I am not going to do that. Fuck you. You're not going to see me hit myself with a taser because I don't want to do that. So, that's been it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, consider liking it and subscribing because I've got a big project coming soon. I'm making a big 8-stage coil gun and all that, and I'm super excited to get it done. And that's been it. So, hopefully I'll get the coil gun out within the next 2 months. So, yeah, stay tuned for that. Yeah, that's basically it. Goodbye.